All right, everyone, welcome back to H2H, the NFL pick show in which Tasos and myself battle it out each and every week. We are out at week number 10. That's crazy. We're in the double digits, Tasos.
Yep.
It feels like we just started the NFL season like a couple weeks ago, you know what I mean? But here we are, smack dab, week number 10. You are coming off of a win from last week, so a little round of applause for you. That was a good win. You actually swept the board on your own picks. I won the fade me round, had Cam Ward's under. You were forced to take his over. If you guys don't know what the fade me round is, stay tuned to the end of the video. But yeah, Tasos, good job last week. You want to take a little victory lap?
Yeah, I had a great week overall. I mean, even on the Oracle, like this year, like I've had a solid NFL season, but I've been waiting for that week where everything just clicks, and that was last week. Like Oracle, I think I was 7-4 on straight bets. I hit like a big parlay. I hit like 4 teasers. You know, so I think on the Oracle, I went up like 11 units last week, just in last week alone. So it finally clicked all together. H to H went 3 on my own picks. So it feels good to finally have that. Like I said, I haven't had a bad year per se, but to have that first big, like, I mean, I did hit a plus, what was it, 1,500 parlay earlier in the year. So I haven't had, like I said, a bad year, but going 3 on my own picks, I thought that Cam Ward pick was going to kill me, honestly. I thought when he got 145 yards, I said, here we go. I'm going to lose because of this stupid pick. But ended up going well on my own. So, but this is, again, we talked about it all year long. It's just been this ping pong affair between you and I. Well, I'm 5-4 now on the season, but it literally has been every other week. So if you are betting on this, Ev, you kind of are the favorite this week.
I guess, yeah. If we follow any sort of a trend at all, the trend says that I'm going to knock this thing up at 5 after week number 10. But yeah, I mean, it makes me feel better that you kind of just went off. I know you had a bunch of teasers this week as well, the big teasers in the building. I actually had my first, and it's kind of crazy to say, I think this is my second NFL losing week of the season, which is like, now I haven't had, but kind of like you. And I know we've talked about it, and I talked about it on my shows too. It's like the highs haven't been that high. You know what I mean? There's been plenty of weeks where I come out of it 0.06 units up or something, like a really minor green week. But the fact that, 9 weeks in and it's only been a couple weeks of truly in the red is pretty crazy. Like I was looking at my tracker a couple days ago, and I was like, holy crap, Ev, like you're doing all right here. You're hanging in, you're treading water. So yeah, hopefully, you know what? The best way to win the H to H weekly battle each and every week is to go out there and do what you did, right? Because I did go 2-2 in my plays, and I didn't have any plus money or anything like that, but you went 3-0 on your own picks. Fade me was obviously out of your hands, so you did kind of do it the right way, as the kids would say.
Yep. But I need to break the trend. We got to see if I can finally get back to back. We haven't had a single person win 2 weeks in a row all year long. I want to see if I can go ahead and do it here. We switched it. We're recording in the morning now, which is I don't know if that's to your advantage or your disadvantage here. I'm not really sure how. Last year I feel like the mornings were not really my thing, but I'm becoming a little bit more of a morning person now. So I don't know. You might be in my home territory now.
Might be. I wish we had some numbers on like the like when we record in the morning, or when we record at night, or when we record when one of us had like 1+ drinks. That'd be cool to see. But you ready to jump into this, guys?
I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
Guys, as in
guys,
there's multiple people here, but it is just Tasos and myself. Maybe the morning I'm still a little groggy here.
You're seeing 2 of me. You're getting scared now. You're seeing multiple of me. You're like, oh god, I got multiple Tasos here.
2-on-1. This is BS. But Tasos, we got the 1-and-1 slice, half cheese, half pepperoni for you. We got an Ev slice and a Tasos slice. What is your favorite, as a pizza man yourself? What is your favorite type pizza?
This is gonna be. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but it's called moussaka pizza. It's a Greek thing. Moussaka, obviously, or moussaka, how it's properly pronounced. But it's a Greek dish. It's like eggplant lasagna kind of thing. But for a pizza, you do eggplant with Hamburg with marinara sauce as the base, and it is just unbelievable. If not that, you really can't go wrong with a Memphis barbecue chicken with like the grilled chicken, red onions, barbecue sauce. Can't go wrong with that either. But moussaka pizza, if you guys haven't had it, it's really, really good. I make it the best personally, but
if you guys are hearing that, comment moussaka and take your best stab at spelling down in the comments. I'm just a pepperoni guy. Like pizza's my favorite food. Pepperoni is my go-to, and guess what? It's even worse. If it's not pepperoni, I like cheese.
Yeah, you're not creative with your pizzas.
But I mean, I don't know if I eat as much pizza as you, because you obviously have a pizza shop. But I eat pizza a lot, and I think all like the like even like buffalo chicken or barbecue chicken, it's like at the frequency or sometimes I'm eating pizza, I can't have like all that going on every single time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
Like I need
you don't get bored of just cheese or pepperoni if you're eating it at a high frequency rate.
it's a good point, but I get from different places.
All right. I guess that's fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. But all right. Let's get back to this here. I was just trying to throw you off and get you thinking about pizza, but now I'm thinking about pizza. Guys, you're gonna see a wheel on your screen. One slice says Ev, one slice says Tasos. This is simply to determine the draft order. It is a snake draft after that. Stay tuned for the next wheel spin because that will dictate which category we bet into. So let's go ahead and spin it, Tasos.
I can't wait for the first comment being, "We're 5 minutes into this and talking about pizza."
Every time, yeah. Honestly, that I bet that person's fun at parties. You can't talk
Yeah.
about pizza, jeez. All right, I
All
am
right, you're
starting to
starting us
soft
off.
Tasos.
I like
All right,
that. You know what? You get us going here. I want to
you
see
like
what you
that?
got. Yeah.
You like that? All right, let's go ahead and jump. I would say I have a pretty good board this week. The last
Mhm.
couple weeks I've said I like my plays, but I've been a little thin. I like where I'm at right now. So I think the hardest thing would be to distinguish and decipher which one I like out of my plays, no matter what pops up, which
Okay.
can always be a little bit of a hiccup. And we'll see. Let's go ahead and spin it.
That's different for you because the last couple weeks you've been saying I have one pick in each category, so you sound confident. And we're getting a rookie prop here, which I'm very interested to see what
Uh-oh.
you get with here.
All right, rookie prop is our first category. If you guys don't know what this one is, it is pretty much what it sounds like. We take a prop on a rookie here. Now, Tassos, I have one that I almost think that I don't necessarily like it, but I could see it happening just in the flow of the game because this number is too low for a guy of this caliber. Okay.
Mhm.
He's going up against a really good defense. It is a Thursday night football play.
God, no.
This is tough. Ashton Genty, 55 and a half yards. I know how good the Denver team is. I know how good that defense is specifically even against the rush, but realistically, this is a very, very good player. And I don't know if you've been watching Geno Smith lately. He stinks at throwing the ball. You don't need to watch him lately to know that. This number is I would say, an ultimate buy low spot for Ashton Genty. I had it circled. It is gross, but it's the type of play where, I mean, you even talked about it with, I think, Achan that you hit last week, right? Right? Like you're hitting the bottom of this opposite parabola. I don't even know if that's the right word. 55 and a half. Him to rush for 56 yards. He could have 10 carries, average, 4.5 yards per carry. That's 45. You're telling me he can't break one off or do something else there? And this is a guy that obviously is most likely going to have more than 10 carries. So I do think it's a volume play. I know they're going up against a really, really good defense, but right now, I mean, his I guess his number I feel like couldn't be lower. Like if this gets to 49 and a half next week, I'm on it too. So what do you think of Ashton Genty over 55 and a half?
Funny enough, I actually was going the Genty route, but not his over. I was actually going to lean a little bit towards the under. I get the numbers
Really?
very low. It's this Broncos defense is just that good, and
They
that's
are
where
that
I would
good.
get nervous with that. And the fact the Raiders have just been a disaster. You know, if they fall behind in this game, they're going to have to throw the ball. Now that's not honestly to their advantage, but yeah, I would just Genty. It would be different if Genty was having like a really good year. He's had some good games. All due respect to him, I think he's going to be a decent player once they figure some stuff out there. But I mean, 50% hit rate this year. He had a nice little stretch going there. 4 week run between Washington, Chicago, Indy, and Tennessee, where he cashed us over all four of those games. But he's only broken over 70 yards once or twice this year, versus Tennessee
Yeah.
and versus Chicago. You see a lot of cashes on the under, though. Back-to-back games. I mean, and we've seen some low games. The Chiefs game, he had 21 yards. Last week versus Jacksonville in overtime. So he had extra time to go ahead and get more touches, 42 yards. 43
Mm-hmm.
yards versus the Chargers, 30 yards versus New England. So these better defenses in Kansas City, New England, LA, Jacksonville, being the better defenses, you've seen them have really low numbers. So
Yep.
it's kind of like the Cam Ward conversation again, where it's like I understand the numbers show he can cash the over, but we've seen some it's not just he's hitting the under, he's destroying the under, going like 10 to 20 yards below it. This is a really good Broncos defense. Short rest. The Raiders not really in great form.
Yep.
I don't I don't necessarily hate it because again, it's such a low number, and they're going to have to do something offensively in
And
this
it's like the
game.
weird Thursday night action, like weird things
Yeah,
happen in that too. I don't disagree with literally anything you said. I also almost pivoted to his receiving yards because I don't know if you saw that last week's game, but
yeah.
they just were checking down, which does make a little sense. But again, like I can only say it's because of that low number in the talent level. Like I don't think that Genty's going to go rush for 150 on maybe the best defense in the entire league, but it's his right now his attempts are juiced to the over at 14 and a half. So if he averages 4 yards a carry, 14 and a half, I think we're looking okay here. I think that might come to just about 56 ish, 660 yards.
Yeah, because I mean, you're looking at something like since October 5th, so the last month,
Mm-hmm.
the most yards a running back has had rushing against the Broncos is Cam Scatabo at 60.
Yeah.
I mean, every other running back's gone below that. The next highest would be Brees Hall at 59.
Yep.
Everybody else, and I mean, you've seen like Saquon had 30, Javonte Williams 41. He's been having a pretty good year too. Nick Chubb 34. I mean, you've seen running backs, and a couple decent names in there. Saquon being obviously the biggest, coming nowhere close to their line. So yeah, it's a tough play. But again, I guess for a value standpoint, the number's so low, you got to take a stab at it. But
Ooh,
definitely
here, just using our dashboard, which I didn't reference earlier, which you guys can find at GuyBostonSports.com. Inside zone, the Raiders aren't at the fourth highest frequency. Denver, 19th rated
yeah,
yards per
I'm looking
carry
at that right
against
now.
it.
Yeah,
That's a little I don't I mean also the outside zone they run a lot. Denver shuts that down, but that's
yeah.
a nice little thing to see. Again, I'm not trying to tell you I'm not we don't have to banter on it all day. I'm not trying to tell you it's a good matchup or anything like that. I really do think the number's too low though. That's
Yeah, and
realistically all
if
it
you're
is.
playing it because the number's low, completely
Yeah.
understand it. But obviously, when you're playing Denver, some major risks
And that's
involved there.
minus 155 and a half, minus 110.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
right. What do you
pretty
got
good
for rookie
numbers
prop?
there. Now we're doing something like we did last week, where it's like I don't have the line out, but I know
Mhm.
already I like this spot. I'm going with Jackson Dart's over in passing yards against the Chicago Bears. Now I'm someone who sold all my Giant stock after the Scatabo injury, and then I watched that Niners game last week.
220 and a half for minus 115 MGM.
Okay, all right, we'll
Okay.
go.
You like that?
That's perfect. We'll take
All
that.
right.
Um, it, I watching that Giants team was now granted they lost by 10. It wasn't a great game, but this guy is resilient, and I think he's going to have a great career. I think there's a lot to like with him. He's no Malik Neighbors, no Cam Scatabo, no pro. He just keeps playing at a pretty decent level.
Yeah.
And this Bears defense is not very good. I don't know if you watched that Bengals Bears game. It was an incredible game. That last 2 minutes was insane to watch.
It was
But
insane.
what we know now, this Bears defense is not very good. We look at the DVOA numbers; are 27th in DVOA, 27th against the pass, 25th against the run. So it's a pretty good matchup here for Jackson Dart against a Bears defense that has time and time again this year shown us they're not very good. They're not very good. They don't really bring pressure. So the way to beat Jackson Dart this year has been pressure. Versus pressure, he has been abysmal. 29.4% completion percentage, 5.9% interception percentage. You look over the dashboard over at Guy Boston Sports, they bring pressure at the 18th highest frequency in the league. So it's not the worst, but they're definitely not in the higher echelon of the league.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't really, they're not going to, now they did just trade for a pass rusher, but I think it's the Browns, I want to say like their second or third string, like the guy, second or third guy after Myles Garrett. I don't know how much that's going to make an impact, but they don't bring enough pressure to, in my opinion, to scare Jackson Dart. The books are telling you from the line, I think it's 3.5 points. They're telling you, hey, this Giants team can hang around. They also run a lot of zone, which is where he's been pretty good against zone for the most part. Zone and man, honestly, there's not a lot of difference in his numbers. He's pretty good against both, but against zone, there are a little bit better metrics overall. So I think it's a pretty good defensive matchup. Obviously he's short on weapons right now, but he's proven time and time again that he can play in these big time spots. We're trying to pull up some more numbers here for you. But like
one thing while you do that, one thing that I do like is even using our dashboard. Giants like to run the inside zone. Now, obviously, this is season long, and they've had like 14 different running backs now really take the helm. But Chicago, as bad as a defense as they are, they're pretty good against that specific run type. Meaning they're going to put the ball in Jackson Dart's hands to throw, because how do you attack this team? You can definitely peg away at that secondary. So I don't really think that that's a bad look whatsoever. 220 and a half is all you need, I would say, is a pass heavy approach from the Giants. And I could definitely see that happening, It's not like you're asking for
especially because
250.
the injuries of the running back room. Now, granted, look at
Right.
the last 5 games. He's averaging 212 per game. A lot of misses in there. Just one of his last 5 as he cashed the line. But some of these defenses, 195 versus Philly. We know they have a solid defense. I know they at the time there were some discussions about that. 195 versus Philly, 193 again versus Philly, 191 versus San Fran, 202 versus the Saints, who are kind of frisky. 283 versus Denver is pretty crazy because Denver obviously one of the best defenses in the league. So
Yeah.
he's been hovering around the line within like 20, 30 yards of the line every game. And this is the weakest defense he's played in a month. So I think it's a pretty good matchup spot. It's a little higher than I'd like it to be at 220.5, but honestly, I think he's going to have a pretty decent game throwing the ball.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't want to give away anything else that I like in this game, but you brought up a good point that like we're looking at, and I know you read them off, but 202, 195, 193, 191 are his 4 of the last 5 misses. That's literally like 2 passes that he completes, 2 more passes, and you're looking at a potential cash on your hands. So
yeah,
I do like
Spencer
this.
Rattler, 233 yards against when the last time he played the Bears. Joe Flacco, obviously 470 on Sunday, which is crazy. Tyler Huntley, 186. Like you've seen lesser quarterbacks, Rattler and Huntley, have decent games and catch their overs. The Bears are 25th in passing yards allowed per game, giving up 237 per game. That's the average. All we need him to do is do what the Bears average give up, and we have a cash on our hands. So I think it's a pretty fair bet.
Yep, I definitely do not mind that one. You ready to jump into round number 2?
Let's do it.
That's the 2 like stud rookie. I guess stud rookies. Ascengenti's not playing well, but those are 2 of the bigger names, obviously, as of right now.
I'm surprised
right.
rookie prop category and no Cam Ward for the Cam Ward Whisperer.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I think that Genti line just too low. All right, what do we got? What are we looking for you? What do you think you're liking? Are you hoping to get
money line or spreads? I like the
Okay.
board a lot in general this week. So money line, spreads, even totals. I like a lot of that stuff.
All right, let's spin it.
But Ev, as you know, the world's my oyster. So anything
of course it is.
I'll be fine with.
Thank
you.
Monday Night Football, you like that?
Oh yeah, I like that.
Okay. This is I would tell you just transparently, this is a tough one. I've kind of been racking my brain about this category. So let's see what you got. I'm lucky that you're starting us off. I kind of want to see where you're at before I go.
Yeah, I'm going Eagles money line. I'm not really going to overthink it here. Green Bay, and this is the only thing that scares me. And sometimes this line of thinking bites you in the ass. Like on Sunday, if you guys watched the Sunday Night Football picks video, that was I said I had a great week. That was the one area I didn't have a great week. I went 1-3 because I outsmarted myself. And we talked about it on this show last week about how the line was weird and Washington, blah blah. Seattle was the better team. They always were the better team. I killed them. The one that scares me in this spot is the fact that Green Bay lost the Panthers. And I feel like the public is going to look at this and say, wait, the Packers are 2.5-point favorites against the Eagles after losing to Carolina. But I don't really care about any of that. I'm going to not worry about that too much. The Eagles are the better team. They're off a bye week, so they have the rest advantage. They just made a bunch of trades. So they beefed up on defense. They added Jair Alexander, which their secondary was already good to begin with. Do they really need another corner? They have a former All-Pro as like their 4th option at corner now. Jair Alexander, Jalen Phillips with the Dolphins, a pretty good young pass rusher. They did a good job of getting more pieces and bulking up on the defensive side. This Green Bay offense, they lose Tucker Kraft now for the year, which is a massive loss for a team that doesn't have a lot going offensively. And their defense is great, no doubt about that. But the Eagles on rest, off the bye week, they had that big win against the Giants last time out that kind of, felt like they finally were back. They beat the Vikings, obviously. I just think Green Bay offensively has a lot of stuff to figure out. And this is a team I picked to go to the Super Bowl in the Packers before they traded for Micah Parsons. I just think that the weapons around Jordan Love, it's been the problem the last few years. Every year, it's like, all right, Matthew Golden's going to be the answer. This guy's going to be the answer. They're not stepping up. They don't have a premier wide receiver. And I think it's very funny. They didn't try to make any trades at the deadline. They didn't try to go ahead and get a Jacoby Myers who ended up in Jacksonville. That would have been a great addition to their team. They don't really have enough consistency in their weapons around him. And again, the Tucker Kraft injury is huge. He was a massive part of this offense. They still have Luke Musgrave, but I don't know how much that's going to be an impact. I just think the Eagles here are the better team. If you're in Lambeau, though, that obviously is a massive home field advantage, but I like the Eagles a lot in this spot.
Yeah, I think that if we were to that was on my board for a plus money play. I do have a couple other spots for Monday Night Football player props that I like a little bit more, but I really can't knock that. I think this Eagles team is going to almost just get. I know we're at week 10, but this is the type of squad that just almost is going to get better and better. You're going to work out that AJ Brown situation, I would say. Saquon Barkley hopefully gets more and more healthy, and with that becomes the Saquon that we all were fascinated by last year. So I really can't knock this one. I will say that this is the type of game that Green Bay could win, though. You know what I mean? Like they are,
Yeah.
like I feel like the way you explain that. I mean, I'm not really knocking it, but they're so much better than they don't have many targets and all that. They have a really good defense. Jordan Love's been really, really good at home. So I could see Green Bay winning it, but again, like we're talking, you getting what are the odds that you ended up getting on that?
Plus 116.
Yeah, I see. I like that. You know what I
Actually,
mean? It's
actually,
like,
sorry, plus 127 on Novig. I just saw that, so we'll take that one instead. Plus
oh,
127 on
there you
Novig.
go. Perfect opportunity to talk to you guys about Novig. You guys just saw Tasos get an 11 cents better line over there. And how does he do that? Using Novig. And why does Novig have better lines and better prices? Well, because it's a sportsbook exchange. They got dummies like me and you, and definitely Tasos, the dummy, setting their own lines and their own prices, meaning other humans going up against other humans. We can capitalize on that. Again, he got plus 127. This is like plus 116 in most markets using Novig. That 11 cents difference goes a long way in the long run. Check out Novig, guys. That link will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. Use code GUYBOSTON. Play $5, get $50. Yes, 10x that $5 over on Novig today. Link down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. There you go. So I definitely don't. I think that for that plus money, you're good, and I think you like that. I have a this is a weird one. It's kind of like that Derrick Henry-esque one where it definitely blew up in my face a little bit. Because I was trying to get too cute, right?
Yeah, you got a little cute.
This could very well be a too cute play, but the Eagles are allowing the third most rushing yards to their opposing quarterbacks, and I expect them to bring pressure to Jordan Love. You mentioned the lack thereof of targets. I like Jordan Love over 9.5 rushing yards. Looks like minus 119. We'll get the final odds. I don't think all the odds are out, but 10 rushing yards from him. I do like the spot. Now, his last couple games, -1 against Pittsburgh and 1 against Carolina. If he doesn't have to run, Jordan Love won't. I get that. Prior to that, 11, 18, 28, 26, 22. Like all we really need is one opened up, run here and we're cruising. And one great thing about this, and I do think this probably is the best thing, is Philadelphia plays a ton of man coverage. That's when you have backs to the quarterback. You're just focused on your wide receiver, your defensive assignment. We realistically need, like, I'm thinking the parting of the Red Seas. We see a bunch of pressure come, and Jordan Love takes off and runs for a first down. I don't have much more to back it other than those few things, right? It could be one run. I don't expect much volume, but quality out of him. The man coverage, and then Eagles allowing the 30th most rushing yards, or the 30th, so the third most rushing yards to their opposing quarterback. Dart ran for 17. That would cash it. Wentz ran for 28. Dart, the other time that they beat them, ran for 58. Bo Nix ran for 22. Baker ran for 13. Mahomes ran for 66 on these Eagles. So, yeah, that's what I got. What do you think?
I don't hate that at all, honestly. Like you just listed all the quarterbacks that have done it. They have given up a good amount of rushing yards to quarterbacks. I do think Jordan Love's in a position now where, again, the lost Tucker Kraft, I can't be overstated how important that is for this offense. They were really using him a lot. Without him, you're relying on a rookie Matthew Golden, who has had moments, but not great. And then it's the rest of this receiver core.
And he's banged up too, I think. I don't think he's
he's banged up too. And then you got, Watson, who is a walking, he's the guy from SpongeBob that's always in the cast and his arms are like this. He's out, with the oxygen mask in his face, like always hurt. That's Christian Watson. Romeo Dubes, like they just don't have a lot of guys, or Daubs, Dubes, whatever you pronounce his name. But they just don't have a lot of reliable guys. And then Jacobs has been okay this year. I think there's going to be a chance, and like you said, it could just be one run in this game where pressure comes, nobody's open, Jordan Love says, screw it, I got to do it myself, takes off and runs. And like I said, only one run could cash this over for you. So you had some cute plays that have backfired. This is one of those where I actually think it makes a lot of sense. So I like it.
Yeah, it was like the one that backfired last week. If you guys watched last week, I had Derrick Henry 4.5 receiving yards. He caught. I
Yeah.
only wanted like one catch. I was looking for one catch, and I don't know if you were watching it when he got it. It was like on the left side of the field, his little dump out pass. I was like, finally, and like a small defensive back made a shoestring tackle on him. It reminded me of Cooper DeJean when he like lifted Derrick Henry up. I was like,
Yeah.
how? All you needed to do is get through this puny guy and get 3 more yards, and that would have cashed. So hopefully, we're not looking at 1 more yard to go, and Jordan Love slides. You know what I could get screwed by here now that I think about it too
Oh, a little
is
QB Neal.
Neal's at the end of the half, end of the game. He had -1 2 weeks ago, or 2 games ago. So we'll see. That would be brutal if
Yeah.
that blows it, because
That's the scary part with
quarterbacks.
like the low quarterback rushing line is always scary. Like I remember one of the funnest things was always like betting Tom Brady's over rushing yard just for the fun of it. But like it's
Yeah,
so risky when it's less than 10 because QB Neal, something like that, that's
yeah,
all it takes and you get screwed. So
yeah.
but I like the prop, genuinely, I
All
do.
right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I do get a little worried now about the Neals. Now that's like totally in my head, but let's just hope that like your play goes well too, I guess, for mine, because
I mean, that
at
wouldn't really
least
go well for you, but yeah,
true.
hopefully
That's a bad way of thinking about it, but at least the Neals might be out of the equation there.
yeah.
All right, let's jump into round number 3. Monday Night Football is off the board. That was one that I was kind of like back and forth on, so I'm glad to
Mhm.
see that. What I'd be looking for here, I like spread and money line too. I have a play that I
Yeah.
really do like. I also like, if total came up, I'd be very excited. So let's see. Hopefully, one of those 3.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that like the board to me. I'm like I like when I do my research. It's like all right, I look through. I'm like, yep, I like that. I like that. I like that. Okay, I see
Yeah.
that. Like that's sometimes a good thing, sometimes not so good.
Well,
But
you're
I see
coming
it
off
so
a good
easily.
week, so
But
I guess that is a good thing. Like, to me, I'm coming off of a
I'm very interested to see what you do here on this plus money play.
plus money play. Yeah, it's not my favorite either. We've had 2 in a row. I just got finished saying at the beginning of the show, like, I really do like the board, and I have a lot of options for all. We probably came up on 2 of the ones that I'm not exactly loving overall here. Plus money play. I think I might go in a. This is going to be interesting. All right. So I think it's plus 140 right now. Let me get the number. It is a money line play.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, Steelers money line. This is. I think that this is all of plus 140. Like, I get why this is plus 140. It makes sense. They're in LA against the Chargers. I think the Steelers team is. I think I said that actually at the beginning of the year. I was like, I think this team's going to be a lot better than people think. They lost to Green Bay. Okay, that's a really good team. They had the fluke loss against Cincinnati. Fluke, sure, I don't know if you want to call it that, but they lost to a bad Bengals team. They lost to, and then their other loss, I believe, was to Seattle, right? Which is a good team. I think that this is a Steelers squad that can compete in these games. And honestly, I know how good the Chargers are, but it does worry me, if I'm a Chargers fan or betting the Chargers this week, that the run game, you have all 3 of your 4 running backs. Only Kamani Vidal is there. Now Haskins is on the IR. Najee Harris on the IR. Marion Hampton's on the IR. You have 2 offensive linemen, Becton and Hart, who are questionable. I don't know if they play. I think the Steelers defense is going to get better and better and better as the season goes on. Like, let's not forget some of the guys they have there. And they just had a really big momentum driving win last week. And I know, I think, at least from a Guy Boston perspective, we were all kind of on that side. I think that this is a good spot for the Steelers to go out there and kind of like have another prove you wrong type of a game, I guess. I think that this defense is going to step up and give Justin Herbert some trouble, as well as being able to stop the pass game, which has been their problem all year. But I think it's going to be a good spot because back to the running game. I know I'm rambling here, but this Steelers, the problem in the defense really hasn't been too much of the running. I think when you look at it from a DVOA perspective, it looks really, really bad, but like, they're just middle of the pack in terms of, rushing yards against and rushing yards per carry. So if they can stop Vidal, there's no one else running the ball. And then it's like, okay, let's see what you got, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, this is what I was looking at too. I talked about it last week. Obviously, we were all on Steelers last week, but the Mike Tomlin numbers when he is an underdog, it's baffling. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if like he just gets like if he gets him pumped, but when he's an underdog of like 3 points or more, it's incredible the numbers. The only thing I would be worried about is that because they beat the Colts, There's a
letdown
little bit of
week.
like, oh, we look at us where the Steelers were back,
Yep.
like defense looked good, and the Chargers they have a lot of problems injury wise right now, and obviously the big one being Joe Alt got hurt against the Titans again.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have won 2 in a row. The Titans game wasn't too
Let's not
impressive.
forget, not to cut you off, but I guess to cut you off, let's not forget how, and I know their running backs got hurt, but Joe Alt going out, how bad
Huge.
they looked. They looked so, I mean, obviously it was like a perfect storm of the running backs and everything, but that was the period in which the Chargers literally couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? They were losing that game to, was it forget who they lost to, the Commander. They almost lost the Giants, whatever. But either way, like they looked
Commanders
really
they
bad
got
during
they
that.
got beaten pretty bad by
That was it might be the one I was thinking of then.
Yeah, I mean the Joe Alt, especially if they had Rashawn Slater, it wouldn't be as bad. But they already lost Slater. They had injuries already in the offensive line coming into the season, and then Joe Alt was like the one guy you just could not lose. He goes down. I think they did just trade for Trevor Penning from the Saints, if I'm mistaken. I think I saw that trade go down, which isn't like a
Yeah,
great acquisition, but
yeah,
it's depth in
it's
a
something. Yeah.
position.
Joel is out. He got surgery, right? Did he?
I believe he's out. Yeah. So I mean,
No,
we can double
for
check
the
that.
season though. I'm saying I think he got
I
like
didn't know if it was
season-ending
I didn't think it was
surgery.
season ending.
Yeah, I think he got
But if it
surgery
is,
electively.
that's crazy for the
Yeah,
Chargers. But
season ending ankle surgery. Yeah, that's brutal.
that's not good for them. I think for the value of it all, the Steelers obviously their offense looks pretty good. Aaron Rodgers, like I was a hater coming into the year, but I got to be honest, he's looked pretty good all season long.
Mhm.
The big thing here is that the Steelers defense, which has kind of been Jekyll and Hyde this year, what are they going to look like in this game? Is I think the key part of this matchup. But yeah, I don't hate it for the value of it too. It's great. So
And
um,
looks like
it's
the
fun.
Chargers play a bunch of zone, and it's like talk about Jekyll and Hyde. Aaron Rodgers versus zone versus man. He's unbelievable against zone.
Yeah,
Really struggles against man. So boom, it's another spot. And like, let's also be real too. Like I recognize the plus 140 value. If this was minus 140, I'd
yeah.
probably be looking at like the Chargers. You know, and I don't think that this is like a runaway spot for the Steelers by any means. I just like the fact that I think that this is a 50-50. They can hang in it, and you're getting plus 140.
Yeah, exactly. From if it was like even plus 110, I'd probably be like,
It'd be a little bit more questionable. Yep.
yeah. But
So I
for
just
plus
want to make sure that
plus
I want to make
140,
sure at least like people watching, like it's not like it's like when we're talking about, and this is with all the picks, right? Like when you take this seriously, it's a lot more value based versus just like what you think is going to happen. I think the Steelers could be like plus 110. I'm getting them for plus 140. There's 30 cents of value in my mind.
Yep. And
Yep.
as putting his house on this game, guys. So that's
Yeah.
he really believes in it.
Yes. All right, where are you going plus money play? Let's see what you got.
I'm going player prop. I was going. I
Okay.
kind of Steelers were one of my plays. I did blow my load a little early there with the Eagles one, but
You're just gonna have a bunch of money line plus money plays. It's like, all right.
Well, that's the money line for the plus money. There's some riskier spots I do like, but I'm gonna play a little safer here. I'm going with the Thursday night football play. I'm going Troy Franklin anytime touchdown for the Broncos, which I'm grabbing for plus 183 over on Novig. Best odds available to me. He has started the last couple of weeks to score some more touchdowns. He had 2 just a couple weeks ago versus the Cowboys. He had 1 versus the Giants. Believe it or not, and it's funny, I honestly, until I started doing research, did not realize this. He's now overtaking Cortland Sutton. He's the number 1 targeted receiver in this Broncos offense. So Troy Franklin, he has really emerged in this Broncos offense as one of Bo Nix's favorites. And
the
beyond
red zone
just
targets
overall, red zone targets. Yeah, I was about to get to that. 34% target share, 7 more targets than Cortland Sutton. So he is their go-to guy, especially in the red zone. I think that in this matchup, they should get to the red zone pretty frequently. This Raiders defense is not very good. Touchdowns allowed the Raiders overall 22nd in the NFL, giving up 3 touchdowns per game versus wide receivers. They're 23rd in the NFL, giving up 1.1 touchdowns per game. So it's a good matchup. This is not a very good Raiders defense. This isn't a good Raiders team at all. And I feel vilified because in the offseason I was screaming from the mountaintops like this Raiders team is not good. And people were like, oh, but Pete Carroll and Geno Smith and Brock Bowers. And it's like, well, their defense is not good and they don't really have that good of an offensive line. But yeah, defensively, I mean, 22nd in scoring, 21st in passing allowed, 16th in rushing yards allowed. Denver should be able to do what they want offensively in this game. And I think that, Troy Franklin, 1 touchdown for plus 183. Again, he's had 3 touchdowns over his last 3 games. It's a
Yeah.
pretty good mark. He gets a lot of work too, so it's a
That's a
pretty
big
good
swing
spot.
play. That's a big
Yeah.
swing play. That's like a week deciding play. You get a plus
Yep.
180, plus 183 cash on the board. That is a big move. And yeah, like the minute you said Troy Franklin, I went to that red zone target share and was kind of honestly pretty astonished. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
fact that he's getting over, and it's only by a percentage point, it's 34.3, but he's getting over, it sounds better when you say that, over 1/3 of the targets when they're in the red zone against the third or fourth worst red zone efficient defense in terms of like I think that's their offense, right? The Raiders. I close the screen, but they're still pretty bad in the red zone themselves. So it's like if they get in the red zone, you almost have like a 1 in 3 chance of them even targeting Franklin. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
definitely
Raiders defensively in the red zone, they are well, they're tied for 17th. So actually, they're not like
yeah.
terrible, but they are bottom half of the league. 30th and third down conversions though, which is pretty bad. And they don't really force a lot of turnovers. They don't really, despite having Max
Yeah.
Crosby, they don't really get many sacks at all. So I mean, Denver should get in the red zone consistently. That's the part one of this is they have to get in the red zone. I think they're
Or
going to
they
do that
don't.
pretty
Or they
consistently.
don't. I mean, yeah, that we're talking red zone
Or they
targets,
don't, or
but
he gets a deep pass for a
yeah,
touchdown.
you never know. I mean, there's other ways. It's not like you're like specifically you're like a double down on red zone touchdown.
I wish there was a way to bet that. Just right
I
specifically
know
right zone
that's a
touchdown.
cool one. All right, Tassos, that is our 3 rounds. I think we're ready to move into Fade Me. What do you say?
I'm ready. We've been moving pretty quick in this. Despite the fact we got off to a little bit of a late start talking about pizza, we've been moving pretty fast here.
Talking about red zone efficiency, we're out here just H to H efficiency. Guys, if you don't know what the Fade Me round of H to H is, it is really simple, and it's one of the things that makes the show even more unique. You're going to see on your screen yet again another wheel, an Ev and Tasso slice. Whoever this lands on gets to make a pick out of like from anywhere on the board, right? You don't have to go into a specific category. We're not spinning another wheel. You can take anything out there as long as there's another side to it. That other side is very important because say this lands on me and I make a play, it's an over on something. Tasos has to take the under at the associated odds. So it's a fade me round for a reason. You have to fade the other person's play. But whoever this lands on gets to pick. Tasos, do you have a good fade me in mind?
I've got something that's going to shock some people, but yeah, I got a good pick.
Oh, that might give me a little bit of a hint, I would say. Let's spin this thing.
You're going to like the play, I think. It's not a bad one, but you're going to end up getting.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh,
Wow, it's gonna sit on you.
Just barely.
I think I might know. I actually I don't know. All right, let's see what you got.
I want
have a
to
feel.
go ahead and give your guess out before I go ahead and say my pick.
No, I don't want. I don't want. I can't imagine you would do what I'm thinking. So you give your pick.
All right, I'm doing something that, and I'm wearing the hoodie, and people are going to get really pissed off with me. But I'm going Tampa Bay here on the spread -2.5.
That's what I was thinking. I was gonna do money line.
Yep, I'm gonna take the spread 2.5 at -110. You get New England plus 2.5, so you get the points.
Yep.
Look, I'm a Patriots fan, diehard Patriots fan. I love New England. I'm not actually gonna bet this myself in real life because I never bet against my own team. But in terms of beating you here, look, New England, I love them. This run has been great, but we have to acknowledge, besides the Bills win, they've beaten a bunch of nobodies. And that Falcons game last week really concerned me. They didn't look great. They honestly should have lost that game, but Atlanta just Atlanted themselves. And
the defense has some issues, I think.
Yeah, the run defense is great. The pass defense has been a problem. And that's why the trade deadline, I was hoping they'd make a move or two. They didn't, and that's where I'm like, all right, now I can, go ahead against this. But, they have the number one run defense in the NFL. The problem is that if you're Tampa Bay, they don't run the ball much as it is. They're more pass heavy. And the Patriots 19th in passing yards allowed. That number honestly probably is worse, but it's, they played a bunch of crap quarterbacks. And
they're 28th in passing DVOA defensively. So like the 5th worst team from that perspective.
And Christian Gonzalez,
which takes into account that.
Gonzalez got hurt last week too. I think he's probably fine to play. I'm looking at the injury report right now. He's questionable with a head injury. But obviously he got a little banged up there at the end of that game. Tampa Bay is really good, and they're off the bye week too. At home, off the bye week. This team is also 6-2. Now they've had their own fair share of injuries, but this team is legit. And Tampa Bay's beaten some good teams. Like this is a well more proven. Look at strength of schedule. The Bucs actually aren't that much higher than New England, but I trust them a lot more. Even the games they've lost, they've hung around with some good teams. I think New England, it's a big jump after they've now played since the Bills win the Saints, Titans, Browns, and Falcons 4 weeks in a row. So you played Spencer Rattler, Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, and Michael Penix, and now you're going to Baker Mayfield. It's a big jump. It's a great run. This is still a good team. They're going to win 10 plus games because they still have to play the Jets twice. They got to play the Dolphins again.
Yep.
They're gonna win many more games this year. I think this is one they probably lose. I think at Tampa, it's a really tough spot. Bucks off the bye, good passing offense. It's not Gonzalez may not play, which is another huge factor.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Tampa -2.5 is a good play.
Yeah. So I get I know you'd said it looks like Novik has Patriots +2.5 or +101. So that's nice. Slight plus money there. Tasos, everything you said, I would echo, as well as it just is such a, I've been waiting. And I know that as Patriots fans, we're all like so hyped and everything like that. I've been waiting for the letdown game. Like if Drake May is this good, it's almost like I'm not ready. Like, we're moving too fast here. We need to go on a few more dates. Like, I didn't know he was about to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really is. I'm looking for, like, things are too good to be true, which I even said in I leaned towards the Falcons in my standalone video last week, and they came back, and obviously a missed extra point was massive. It was funny. It was I forget the kicker's name, but Parker or whatever, but like he like, it was kind of fitting that he did that against the Patriots. But either way, it's like this team is really, really good. But the strength of schedule and like the Bills game, you get amped for. It's prime time. It's a divisional rival. The Bucks are at home here. You mentioned it. They're off the bye. Baker Mayfield is gonna see, I would assume, some soft pass defense, and he gets back potentially Bucky Irving, Chris Godwin. Like, this Bucks team, because they're on a bye, I think people forget how good they are. Like, I know Mike Evans goes down. That's brutal. And that was in, like, they had that one. Honestly, their one bad game was probably that Detroit game where Detroit is like, hey, guess what? Like, okay, little buddy, we're way better. You know what I mean? Which Detroit is a filthy team. This Bucks team, I think, as of right now, even offensively, is still better than the Patriots. Maybe they're not as good of a team or coach, even though they're well coached too. But I think situationally, this is a great spot for the Bucks.
The Bucks, great numbers. They've covered the spread at 63% hit rate. The Patriots also have a very good cover rate, but the Bucks, this line provided by Outlier, the Bucks are 6-0 against the spread in the last 6 games versus top 10 scoring defense. So like that's the thing with Tampa, and I don't know if Drake May's there yet, where it's like, I think Drake May's been very good. And I think he is good, but I think he's benefited a lot from the matchups. I think Baker, you could put him against the Eagles, you could put him against the Jets. I think either way he's going to play. I don't know Drake May just yet if he's there. Also, another factor here that hasn't really been talked about a lot, and I think we've kind of as Patriots fans, we got our blinders on right now, where it's like, hey, we won 6 in a row. Drake May's been sacked like 16 times in the last like 3 games.
And what does this Bucks team do?
Yeah, they bring pressure. Okay, they blitz at a high rate, they pressure at a high rate. Very good numbers there, which is honestly funny because I don't think a lot of people give the Bucks defense credit for how good they are. I think everyone always talks about Baker and Ibuka and the offense, but their defense has been very good this year. And that's the thing with New England's offensive line. It hasn't looked great. And again, it's you got 2 rookies starting. You got an old man and Morgan Moses starting at right tackle. The Bucks right now is averaging 3.1 sacks per game. The Patriots 29th in the NFL, giving up 3.8 sacks per game. I think Drake's going to be under pressure a lot. This is just not a good matchup for them. And if they lose, they're not a bad team. They lose. I just think that, to me, yesterday was all I needed to see to confirm this, where I think they're going to make the playoffs. They're a good team, but them not going all in, like you saw the Colts, obviously, right? They go all in for Sauce Gardner. Not saying New England should have did that, but that's a team that says, hey, we like what we got. We're going to go all in on this. New England not even trading for like a Dameon Pierce, like a backup running back. To me, is all you need to know that, like, hey, we like where we were at, but we're not ready to go all in on this yet. So it's still early in the rebuilding process. I think that Tampa's they're a contender, a real contender. So.
Yep. Yeah. I think that I think we're on the same, which is so weird. As 2 Patriots fans, we're like both aligned on this. Like, I was gonna take Tampa Bay money line, which would have given you some nice plus money. I honestly like your way of going about it because that's the most like non-important spread in football in a sense, you know what I mean? 2.5 on the other side, so that's probably a good value play. But I was going to tell you, is like, you're probably going to like it to some degree because you get to root for the Patriots. But yeah, I just don't think it's the best of spots for them. So I don't mind the idea that I have to root for my favorite team. I'm cool with that. But again, like, there is a little part of me, and a big part of me, that's like, it's almost like Baker Mayfield's going to do like anything you could do. I could do better offensively in this game, and I know which defense I'm taking if I had to pick one as of right now against the pass, essentially. But
Listen,
yeah,
I want to be the Patriots fan that's like Dynasty's back on and Super Bowl's back on, and I've had a couple of
a
those
few more
comments
dates. I
myself.
told you a few more dates. A few more
Yeah,
dates.
a
Wine
little
and
early,
dine me
a
a
little
little bit
early.
more. But all right, how do you feel about your board?
I like my board a lot. I'm very happy. I got some good value with the plus money plays with the Eagles money line and that Troy Franklin touchdown. Again, like we talked about, that Franklin touchdown that hits. I'm sitting
Big
pretty
swing.
honestly
Yep.
for the week.
That's a swing state for sure.
And I think that, and I hate to say it again, I'm wearing the Pats hoodie, but I think that fade me is a lock. I think Bucks are going to win for sure. I think they're going to win by more than. I think it's a 7-point win at least. But I hope as a fan, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Tampa Bay is a really good team. I watched them in person just a couple weeks ago versus the Saints, and they didn't even play well. They played a crappy game, and they won by 20, and the Saints could not move the football. So
yeah,
that was that was the Bucks at their worst, and they won by 20.
Fair. Yeah. Well, let's see. It's a big week. No one has had a 2-game/2 week separator so far. It's literally been back and forth all year long. Tasos is now up 5-4 in terms of record. I'm obviously 4-5. This is a big week for me. I think that we're gonna set the tone that Thursday night too. You obviously have Franklin. I have Genty. There's a couple plays sprinkled in there, and then we get to cap it off with Monday Night Football. This is going to be a good H to H week because at the very least we have the starting and ending point as well. Guys, if you made it this far into the video, what was the pizza that you commented? Or you not commented? Do it again. I know you might have commented that at the beginning, but go ahead and comment Moussaka and let us know your favorite type of pizza because this was for sure the pizza episode. Tasos, the pizza maker himself, me, the pizza enjoyer myself. Hey, what could you go wrong?
We gotta set something up where you come to the pizza shop and eat some pizza.
Yeah,
maybe do a live H to H from my restaurant.
Oh, that'd be sweet. I talk no further than pizza. I'm in. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for week number 10. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.